It's not surprising. The criminal mind is very, very creative, and folks that are intent on selling product will find a way to do it.
Vape shops, convenience stores, and gas stations in the mountains were busted by the Secretary of State's office for selling counterfeit THC-laced gummies. And News 13's Samir Nefsi joins us live in the studio tonight. And Samir, the Secretary of State says these items were deceptive.
Yeah, Ty, very dangerous is how Secretary of State Elaine Marshall described what her office confiscated. Walk with me over here. I want to show you some of those images of the confiscated or seized items. Take a look in the corner. You can see Rice Krispie treats, Kit Kats, even Reese mini cups down there. We also have a bag of chips in this monitor, and our farthest one, Oreos. Now, at first glance, these items, of course, look like everyday run-of-the-mill products you could find at a store. However, they couldn't be farthest from that. They're actually laced with THC, which led the State Department to go after stores across North Carolina for trademark violations.
Just it's OMG because they're prolific, they're everywhere. And as I say, the safety and health issues for children just worries me a tremendous amount.
These products look like Fritos, Ruffles, Lifesavers, even Kit Kats, but
the contents that these are intended to hold are Delta 8 or THC.
It's a concern echoed by Bo Ballard, the owner of a local cannabis-infused cafe.
Think about it, how many millions of dollars have gone into the brandment of your children to recognize something and grab it. So if you even play off the likelihoodness of something that the child likes and endorses.
From my standpoint, it's just very, very dangerous because if this kind of thing is left out on the kitchen counter somewhere, a child coming home from school hungry, bingo, they grab the package and eat all of the contents.
Last month, a Virginia mother was charged with murder and child neglect after her 4-year-old son ate a large amount of THC gummies.
It's just very, very dangerous. And we don't know exactly the contents inside. There's, a small amount of THC is legal for an adult to buy in North Carolina, but we don't know how much actually is in these packages.
Secretary of State Elaine Marshall says her office has been investigating these products since the summer after a warning from federal officials about THC-laced gummies and candies. It's estimated $223,824 worth of products were seized after more than 50 search warrants were executed. Delta 8 is legal in North Carolina, but the state secretary fears these products are using the likeness of other brands to possibly cater to kids.
The easiest way to stop this is the trademark violation. To nip it in the bud at this point, we're viewing it as a trademark violation.
Yes, it's very worrisome. It bothers me that this stuff is so relatively available. You can buy this from any man on a white truck that comes into the convenience store.
Now, these products do indicate that they have THC in them. You can also see that on the logo on the bag. But the Secretary of State believes this could be easily overlooked, especially by a child. Now, these stores did not face criminal charges.
Millions of children wear them every day, school uniforms. According to a recent study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology, those uniforms had higher levels of potentially dangerous PFAS chemicals than other types of children's clothing tested, such as bibs, hats, and swimsuits.
PFAS are known as forever chemicals since they essentially never break down naturally, and they're often added to products to make them waterproof, stain-resistant, or non-stick.
In recent years, PFAS have been linked to a growing list of health problems, including increased risk for certain cancers, liver damage, and neurodevelopmental problems. And children's exposure is of particular concern. In this study, 30 stain-resistant school uniforms were tested. The chemicals were found in all of them.
Kids wear these clothes against their skin for hours every day, and these chemicals can stay in the body for months or even years. So it's really important to limit exposure where possible.
Now some states are stepping up. New York and California passed bills that phase PFAS out of textiles by 2024 and 2025. That does little to help anxious parents right now, but there are some ways to limit your child's exposure to PFAS.
If you have the option, say your school requires a blue polo but not one from a specific store, try to buy one that's not labeled stain resistant, since stain resistant coatings often contain PFAS.
And parents can also limit exposure from other sources, like testing their drinking water and using a water filter certified to remove PFAS, along with avoiding stain resistant carpets and home products. Megan Patterson and her family have been using rechargeable batteries for about 8 years.
I worry a lot about our environmental impact when it comes to things like batteries.
Both rechargeable and single-use batteries contain toxic chemicals and heavy metals that can pollute the environment. They both also require water and energy in the manufacturing process and release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. But a 2016 study in the International Journal of Life Cycle Assessment says that rechargeable batteries are more sustainable than disposables after you've used them at least 50 times, something that shouldn't be a problem for many families.
With kids' toys, we go through batteries all the time. Now I don't feel guilty about it.
Consumer Reports says toys and wireless mice are a great place to use rechargeables, since they usually draw a lot of power over a short period of time.
You know, you buy them once and you can recharge them, around 1,000 or so times.
Just make sure you also buy a charger that can accommodate all the different sizes you'll be buying. As for single-use batteries, CR says they hold a charge longer and are best for things like smoke detectors and emergency tools like flashlights.
That's what they're designed to have, a slow discharge for those types of items where you kind of need them on the ready.
Although in Megan's house, toys may also fall into that category.
Mom, my walkie-talkie is dead!
Jennifer Emmert, News 13.
And if you ever left batteries in an old device and you found that they had leaked, well, just imagine what happens at our landfill.
Absolutely. And to keep those toxic chemicals out of the environment, CR suggests you recycle them.